Yo, so here I am in Sorrento in the Amalfi coast, and you can probably hear the ocean there in the background. I am sat here, just went for a lovely swim, and I'm here reconnecting with myself, and I'm going to share some stuff that I haven't really shared before with my audience today. And basically I've been traveling around Europe, as you may or may not know, with my girlfriend, and I'm here on my own right now, reconnecting with myself. And today's going to be a bit more about mindset, but it's also going to tie in some stuff in terms of nutrition. Obviously, we're going to drop some of that in there because I know a lot of you come here for that. But the key thing I wanted to share with you here is you can relate this to fitness and getting in shape, your relationships, business, anything, you name it. A powerful question one of my mentors recently told me to ask myself was, where do we go from here, right? Now, I'm gonna share some vulnerabilities here. This trip's been quite challenging with me. Now, from the outside in, you might think, oh, he's having an amazing trip. By the way, I'm holding the tripod here, so my arm might start shaking. But from the outside in, I moved to Australia, just to give you a bit more of an insight into me. I moved to Australia about 7 years ago and moved to Sydney. And basically, I'm from the UK originally, I'm from Wales, right? And the reality is, moving that far away from your family, right, to the other side of the world, literally, it's not an easy thing to do, but it was amazing for me. It's been one of the best decisions I've ever made. That being said, it comes at a price. Like anything comes at a price, right? Anything that you want to achieve, any opportunity you want to take up, it's gonna come at a sacrifice. People think that there's actually a cost of opportunity as well. So all that to say, moving to the other side of the world, and then I went back to see my family recently in the UK, and I wanted to see some family and friends and everything else. And I took my girlfriend Janini with me as well, and that was the first time she'd been back. We had a great time, but I was so busy this time trying to see people, visit people, plus I was still working. Obviously I work remotely with clients online, and obviously I produce this podcast, social media, there's a lot of stuff I do, right? And I love it, I'm not complaining. But that, coupled with traveling around to see everyone, and then on top of that, being out of my routine, and Janini too, we were staying at my mother's house, and being out of your routine, being out of your usual, kind of being able to get up and cross the road, go to the gym, to Fitness First, where I live in Sydney, and having that routine, which just makes life a lot easier, right? Those disciplines, and I was still disciplined, still training and everything else, but then I had to work at a different place, and working is not just working, right? You can do good work, or you can just work for the sake of working, and being productive and actually getting good work done is the way it should be, right? So I had to find the right offices. Anyway, it was challenging, and then we booked a trip then to travel around and actually enjoy, have a bit of a holiday. But I still had to work, right? I still had a bit of work to do. But I work for myself and work online and remotely, and I don't have to. People are not paying me for my time; they're paying me for the result, and for essentially giving them the result. And it's not like when you're one-to-one, face-to-face PT. Obviously, online you can work anywhere, but you still got to work. And yeah, we were traveling around a lot. We went to one too many European cities, and again, I'm not complaining here. I'm just saying it was great, but it made me realize, and this is what I'm doing right now. I'm connecting with myself again, reconnecting with myself. It made me realize what I really want. What we both want is, I love nature. I love simple things. I like being around warm people. And life is very simple, right? It's not easy, but it's simple. And going to all these different cities and stuff, we don't really eat out often. Yeah, we'll eat out and everything else for the experience and go and eat the best steak, blah, blah, blah. Once you've done it a few times, let's be honest, it all becomes pretty much the same, right? We went to some great places. Amsterdam, love Amsterdam. Went to Paris, didn't like Paris. Then we went to Rome, another city. And obviously we've been to Cardiff and London as well on top of that, because I'm from Cardiff and Wales. And we went to London as well, and we met up with some OIB clients, which was awesome. We were there for 3 nights. And basically it's just all city hopping, right? And then we got to Florence, which is another city in Italy, but it's more relaxed and beautiful, right? Amazing. But we were only there for 3 days, and we're just constantly traveling. I felt like I was just traveling, doing work, yes, enjoying myself and seeing the sights. But once you've seen one museum, you've seen them all. And again, I'm not here complaining, it's amazing, don't get me wrong. Colosseum, I've been there before, it's amazing. Really fascinating, love it. Went to some of Michelangelo's work in Florence, blew my mind. But at the same time, it's not what I would choose to do. I just choose to be here in nature, right? Connected you know, it's so important for your soul. So look, this is what I want to kind of summarize with, and I want to give you guys some insights and some lessons and basically some value. You got to ask yourself, where do we go from here? Now, I've had to come here and reconnect with myself. I'm not going to go into the ins and outs. You know, we all have ups and downs, and basically I've come here and I've just literally done some breath work for an hour. Now I know, now you may be putting off certain habits, like whether that be prepping your food, whether it be just going to the gym consistently, getting your steps in. It could be anything at all. But, you know, we put things off a lot of the times until we hit breaking point or we get a health scare, like diabetes, for example. People, you know, it's too late once you've got, you know, yes, you can reverse type 2 diabetes, but once you start getting issues with your thyroid, and health basically only moves in one way, right? So when it starts moving in the wrong way and you continue and you go against your body's signals, which is something that I've done on this trip, I knew, you know, as soon as we got here to Amalfi, which is beautiful, right? Nature, amazing place. I'm in Sorrento at the Amalfi coast. And as soon as I got here, I realized, oh man, this is what I needed. I need to relax. Now, we relaxed on Monday, really just unplugged, done some breath work, spent some good quality time together, Janine and I. Yesterday then we went on we got the bike and we went up the coast and everything else, which was great. Amazing, beautiful, by the way, right? We went to Ravello, amazing views. But it was still traveling, right? So it's still a bit tiring. What I need to do is be more. This is what I need to do more. I just came here, did over an hour of breath work, breathing, lying down, didn't allow myself to move. Now, I've let myself get to a point where I'm literally run down, right? Run down, tired, and I lost a connection with myself. Going back home to the UK was an emotional kind of whirlwind as well. You know, seeing family, friends, all that kind of stuff that, you know, you love, right? And you've moved to the other side of the world, and that's my decision. I'm not complaining about it. I love Australia, but, you know, it's tough. And then I've just kind of, there's lots of other stuff going on as well, which I'm not going to go into, like personal stuff back home or whatever. And you just kind of suppress your emotions, and I lost connection with myself a little bit. So I had to come here, reconnect. But, you know, I fall into the trap of wait until I get to that breaking point to come and do something about it. And you should not be doing the same. So anyway, let's get into some really valuable things you can actually implement. So I had to stop and go, okay, where do we go from here? Whenever you get an issue, right, I can give you an example now, right? So the other day, right, we got to Rome, and quite frankly, I was really pissed off. Right, this is not a big issue, but to me at the time, it was a big issue. We've been spending so much time hopping around, staying a few days here, a few days there. It doesn't sound like much, but me being out of my routine, my usual routine, and cooking my own food all the time. Yes, we've had some places we've rented, you know, along the way where we can cook our own foods, but we stayed in some hotels and everything else. And you're not cooking your own food, number one. You know, you're traveling a lot. I'm not going to bed at the same time, so obviously I'm trying to enjoy the sights, eat some food in Rome, bit of an excuse. And then I'm still working. I'm trying to tie up, you know, I'm taking a week off now from clients, but trying to tie all that up and everything else. And we got to Rome and they were doing road works outside in the hotel. I was pissed off, right? And I was angry, and I'm like, I'm pissed off going to cities. Got to Rome. We were both sick of it, but I was just complaining. I you know, this is what I wanted to say as well, ruminating on problems. Actually, with some research on this, a therapist that was on Joe Rogan, I think, and ruminate on your problems and actually complaining about them, bitching about them online. You know, I was bitching about it to my girlfriend, so we all do it at times. It actually makes them worse. It actually makes your issues worse, your problems worse. You could use fitness for an example here, right? When you get on scales, for example, you get on the weigh-in scales, and I get this all the time, this battle with clients where we have to look at body composition. Are you losing fat? Are you building muscle? How's your energy levels? You know, what's your food quality like? Are you hitting your targets with nutrition? You know, clothes fitting is a better measure than getting on the scales a lot of the times because you're losing fat, again, measurements. But when you get on the scales, when certain clients get on the scales, and I even get this at times myself, then you get pissed off because, you know, one week maybe the scale hasn't budged much, or perhaps you're holding some water and God forbid the scale's gone up a little bit. And then what happens then, you know, people, and I'm not saying any clients in particular because I do it as well, but we get into our own heads then, and sometimes we go into victim mode. We go, oh, fucking hell, like I'm putting all this work in, I'm not losing weight, I should have lost more weight by now. We start ruminating on it, but then we're not taking a step back and looking at the bigger picture. You're actually making progress. And again, with health or with your physique, with your results in the gym, you're going forwards or you're fucking going backwards. There's not really much in between. Yes, you're going to hit plateaus here and there, and you've got to shake things up. But when you get into your own head and you start ruminating and bitching, instead of going, actually, this is actually what's supposed to happen, this is happening for me, not to me, I need to keep moving forward, right? Because I'm gonna keep getting results if I keep going forward. Especially, if we use my clients, for example, they've got me in their corner, they've got the whole team of Optimize Your Body behind them. And the only thing they've got to do is show up and do the work and be consistent at least, 85% of the time. And they're gonna win, right? But it's mindset. And that's what, when you look at the shape I'm in, and people who are in great shape, actually what it comes down to is just keeping going and resilience, discipline, not giving up. It's all the same stuff. So all that to say, I was ruminating on my problem, and then I just had a powerful question that my mentor taught me, and I was like, okay, where do I go from here? And I've applied this to my relationship. Whenever I get issues with that now, where do we go from here? And ultimately it's a powerful question to ask yourself, because then you can regroup and you can actually understand that every single challenge we have, and when you're in it, like right now, I had some challenges, and when you're in it, it's hard to see through it because you're in it, right? You're in the thick of it. Every single time these things happen to you, my friend, they actually make you better. Any challenge you get. This is any challenge you get. No challenge is different. They're all different. Some are harder than others. Some take us longer to recover from. Some of them take us a while to get out of until we can look back and go, actually, wow, that's amazing that I got through that. It's made me more resilient. But what has it taught me? What lesson has it taught me, right? And the other day, the lesson that it taught me was, okay, I've lost the connection to myself a bit, right? I'm going to all these cities for the sake of doing it because I was trying to show Giannini Rome, which he didn't really care that much. I'm trying to show all these things, but the reality is that's not what we really like doing. Like, we really like to be simple things. We can cook our own food, we can get some nature, we can spend some quality time together, we can get good gyms to work out in. That's what we like, right? And we weren't getting all of that. So my lesson was, life is simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. So don't overcomplicate things and try and do all these different things. And ultimately, it's not what you want as a person, right? And that was just a little example. I'm not going to go deep into some other big struggles I've had because we all get them. But that's something I want you to really take away from this, is where do we go from here? And apply this to your training, your nutrition. I fucked up on the weekend, right? I've eaten a bunch of garbage. I've eaten like an asshole. And I'm really pissed off right now. I feel like shit. And you'll get the inner critic pop up and say, look, you fucked up now. You fucked up. It's over for you, right? You go, look at you. You're a failure. Blah blah blah. You get all this negative self-talk, like we all get at times. But then once you've been through all that and you've got out of victim mode, ask yourself, where do I go from here? Or where do we go from here? If it's a relationship thing or a team effort, where do we go from here? Where do I go from here? And then take the next step and keep moving forward, right? Anyway, that was that. I wanted to share that with you because it's a very powerful question to ask yourself. Also, what I'd like to share with you is some just nuggets here in terms of, I'm 3.5 weeks into a trip now. Okay, let's just say from when we went to Amsterdam, October the 2nd, where are we at now? Like October the 16th or something. So let's just say that's 2 weeks of really traveling around. And I'm in, better shape, I'll be right, physically, but it's not all about that. It's how you feel. And how we've done this, right, is, we've been staying in a hotel as well. We're staying in a guest house now in Sorrento, but we can't cook our own food. This is what we've been doing. Number one, with nutrition, we've been having like one meal out a day and having the other meal at home, right? And because we haven't been able to cook, when we can cook, we'll cook one good meal at home normally, our steak, our usual stuff, and we'll have our yogurt and stuff. And when we can't cook, we'll just have yogurt, right? So like yesterday, for example, we ate out, we had lunch. We had lunch up in the Amalfi town. And then yesterday, what we'll do in the evening then is we'll have our Greek yogurt. They sell the Fage, F-A-G-E is pronounced. They sell that here, so we'll go and get that. Have that with fruit. I'll have some peanut butter with that as well. I'll have some dark chocolate in the daytime, to be honest, as a little snack. And having that at home. And I'm still getting, by having a tub of that yogurt, about 450 grams, still getting like 40 grams of protein with that, and I'm getting a load of meat in for that first meal. So that's what we'll do. Allow ourselves to eat out once a day. You can eat out all the time if you want when you're on holiday, but the reality is, when you got to think like a fit person. And I was saying this to one of my clients recently. I was like, he wants to get next level now, shredded for his holiday. He's already in shape, but he wants to get in better shape. Got a holiday coming up, and I said to him, look, this is amazing, but what we need to do is we need to keep this going when you're away. Yes, you're going to be drinking alcohol, you're going to be eating more food, right? I'm not saying you're not going to indulge, you're going to do that and enjoy yourself. But we need to keep these fundamental habits in place when you go away, like just going to the gym. When you go to the gym, you naturally want to make better decisions with food. Even if you do eat like an arsehole or drink some alcohol, right? Go overboard with alcohol. You're still at least, I know he's going to be mindful of protein, right? When he trains. Because you just naturally want to make better decisions when you've been to the gym. So I've said to him, right, what we're going to do is we're going to commit to doing a workout in the gym every other day. He's got access to a gym at the hotel. Keep your steps high and enjoy yourself with the nutrition and stuff, right? With the food, and the alcohol. But you have to really think, when you're looking to get in shape, you have to think like a fit person. What would Martin do in this situation, for example, right? If he was eating out, what would he do in this situation? Okay, I had a pizza in Rome, right? For example, in Florence, sorry. Amazing pizza, by the way. I haven't had a pizza though since last year, my birthday last year, right? So it's not because I'm restricting myself and I'm so disciplined. It's because I don't have a desire to have those things, because for a long time I've stepped into the shoes of being a healthy person, and being a healthy person means eating high protein, eating good quality foods. And when you do those things and you eat more meat, for example, you eat, single ingredient foods more often, vegetables, fruits, meats, yogurt, those kind of things, good quality foods, then you naturally stop having the desire to eat all those other foods. So it's about upgrading your identity. You've got to identify as, someone who lifts weights, for example. Like, I am a person who lifts. And they do research on this as well. People who quit smoking, for example, people who say, I'm going to stop smoking, they actually have a really high failure rate. People when they step into the shoes of someone who doesn't smoke, they say, I'm not a smoker. And they keep saying that to themselves. Look, I'm not going to have a cigarette. I'm not going to break because I'm not a smoker. They have better success rate. So really, really important little tips there for you. Another thing as well, we kept that step really, really high. And that offsets, we struggle to get enough food in anyway because we build so much muscle, metabolism is firing. But the steps just mean, most of your calories burned are going to be from your movement, walking, day-to-day movement. So because of that, we can get away with way more food, but it's actually hard for us to actually gain fat because we're doing that. We're having our just 2 meals a day. We're still having high protein, which blunts our appetite. And we're just being aware. And it really is as simple as that. And we haven't been trained. That's another thing I wanted to say as well. We went to gyms, we had access to a gym. We went to a gym in Amsterdam. The last time we went to a gym was pretty much 2 weeks ago. It was the last time we went to a gym. But we've still been doing, on average, probably most days, probably every other day, most days on average, we've been doing bands and bodyweight stuff. Like this morning, we just did 20 minutes in the hotel room. Bang, let's get up, put some music on, get the rubber bands out. All I did was push-ups, row with a band, shoulder press with a band, and then I did some Bulgarian split squats, just bodyweight, foot up on the seat, on the chair behind me, boom. I did 4 rounds of that. I did some curls as well, 3 rounds I think, 3 rounds, 3 sets of each. And then I did some bicep curls. And I committed to 100 reps of curls, 100 reps of push-ups, not all in one set, split into sets. I think I did 45 Bulgarian split squats on each leg, not all at once, split into sets. Shoulder press, I think I did about 60 reps altogether, something like that, split into 3 sets. I just committed to that and done it. She did the same, and that's that. So, look, ladies and gents, that was a different one today. Wanted to share that with you whilst I'm here in Sorrento. And quite frankly, it's good for me to reflect, and it's almost like therapeutic for me. So it's good for me because I get to hit 2 birds with 1 stone. I get to reflect, I get to learn from my lessons, and I also get to share that with you. Look, ladies and gents, if you like this podcast, please help us reach more people, help us grow so we can get bigger guests on, and ultimately give you more value. Like this podcast, but subscribe. A lot of you are not subscribed to my channel. Please click subscribe. I think it's under this video. Like the video so we can get more people to see it. And if it's not too much to ask, just comment with a fire emoji if you like this podcast episode, and that's going to reach more people again. Really, really appreciate you. Over and out.